So on Twitter, we had, and I think that's going to be interesting for Richard Lynn, which is about to travel, because it's about gas. All right, so on Twitter, at Livewire446, ask us, I like your energy on the live show. That's not a question, but thank you. I will be driving for 20 days around New Zealand. Can you suggest cheap ways to buy fuel? Is there any fuel cards? Where are cheap fuel around the South Islands and also in the North Island between Wellington and Auckland? So basically, where are cheap fuel prices everywhere in New Zealand? All right, cool. So, sorry, I can give that to you.
Yeah.
All right, so the first thing that I want to say is that gas is rather expensive, like fuel, gas is rather expensive in New Zealand compared to other countries because, well, we are kind of a bit of an isolated island. So you need to get them from far and everything like that. So gas is not that cheap. So at the moment, gas is about $1.90, so $1.9 per liter, which per gallon, because I know there's some American right here, $8.63 per gallon. That's around the price right now for petrol, right? I don't think any of you guys are going to be using diesel. It is a little bit cheaper, but there is some taxes to pay per kilometers that you're doing after that, so it makes it about the same price. And most rental companies actually just rent petrol and don't go with diesel. So that's going to be around the price for gas right here in New Zealand. Now, there are some ways to get some discounts on that, and we actually have a bit of a list for you guys, so we'll go over them and tell you how to make it work.
Yeah, so one way that you can save money on gas is by going to the supermarket, because pretty much all the supermarkets in New Zealand, when you get your receipt, they also print out a fuel voucher, which is usually 6 cents off per litre. It's pretty much always the same.
Yeah, sometimes you have like some days when they give you like 10 cents.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, so it's really good to keep a hold of those, and it's usually for a fuel station that's actually close to the supermarket that you've done your shopping from. So that's another way to obviously save some money, like a little bit of money on.
So when you arrive at the supermarket, you do your grocery shopping and you fuel up the car afterward. Don't arrive in town and say, okay, I'm going to do the gas station, I'm going to do the shopping. No, it's shopping first and then gas station.
Another obvious one is obviously closer to the airport you are, the more expensive the fuel is. So just don't fuel up near the airport is a really good way to save money. So one thing that a lot of people kind of forget is that when you need to give back your vehicle back, and usually you pick it up from an airport, very often you pick it up from an airport location. So let's take an example. Let's say I go in the Auckland airport and I rent a car from the airport and I travel around New Zealand. You have to bring by your car with a full gas tank because they give it to you with a full gas tank. Otherwise, they will charge you an obscene amount to refuel your car. Now, it doesn't have to be perfectly all the way to the top, it doesn't have to be absolutely spot on perfect, So what you can do is that about maybe 30 minutes before the airport, you can go to a gas station, which is still 30 minutes away from the airport, so you won't have airport prices. And then you fill up to the maximum, until the pump does clank. And so you'll be all the way kind of like on the top. And then you can bring it back to the location and you'll be fine. But honestly, you can pay like up to 20 or 30 extra cents at the airport. I would be willing to bet right now that the gas prices around Auckland Airport is like $2.20 to $2.30 at the moment, which is they're absolutely gorging themselves. So keep that in mind. And you don't have to be like so stressed about it. You can give it with a half an hour drive. It's totally fine. Okay. Yeah.
Cool. Next one.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay, another way to save money on fuel is to rent a newer vehicle. So obviously newer vehicles are more fuel efficient than older ones. I think it's kind of common knowledge now. But when people are trying to, you try and save money by renting an older vehicle. They usually have much lower daily rates for renting those vehicles, but it can end up being a little bit more expensive where you are paying so much on fuel. And nobody wants to stop every 2 seconds to go to a fuel station anyway. So a good way to avoid that is to just get a newer model of car. And on BackpackerGuide.NZ, we compare loads of different car rental companies, and we actually list all the age ranges of the vehicles in that comparison. So that's a good place to check out some of those age ranges, and we'll make sure to put a link in the description below when we do the rebroadcast of this video. Okay, another way to save money on fuel is to drive a little slower. You don't have to speed around everywhere all the time, because that's another way to guzzle up your fuel pretty much. Got anything else to say about that very short?
It's just really true. Like I mean, you can find studies like that on the internet all the time. Like the slower you drive, the least gas you use, and it's just as simple as that. So if you just enjoy the scenery, basically you're gonna spend less on gas. Why not? You know,
exactly.
I mean, take the time to enjoy it and go for that. All right. So now one part of the question of at Livewire 446 was also what are the kind of the cheapest places to get gas. Now, although I don't have like a specific location because gas prices change twice a day, it's crazy. There are two companies which have significantly cheaper gas than other gas stations in the country. So on the southern end, it's NPD, which is I think is Nelson Petroleum Distribution or something like that. NPD. So N for Nelson, P for petrol, and D for distribution. And on the northern end, it's Waitomo. So if you put it on, if you go on your GPS and you try to find the nearest gas station, well, if you have to choose between a BP, which is going to be super expensive, or another Waitomo, we'll try to go toward the Waitomo. It's going to be cheaper. Now keep in mind though that all like the NPD and the Waitomo gas stations are non-serviced ones, so they're all automatic. So you put your card, you put the number, you pay. It's very easy to use, but it's not the place where you can go and grab a pie and Coca-Cola and something like that. But to be fair, buying things at the gas station is crazy because it's always crazy expensive. So don't do that if you're on a budget. So but that would be the two places where you will find the cheapest kind of petrol in New Zealand. That would be NPD on the southern end and Waitomo on the northern end. All right. So that kind of wraps it up for gas and prices of gas in New Zealand. I hope that was very helpful to you guys. If it was, click like. If you do have any questions of your own, put it in a comment below. We're here to help, and obviously hit subscribe. We have 7,000 subscribers this week. It's a big milestone, and 7,000 people can be wrong. You want to hit subscribe.